I don't know when your moment was. I don't know what it was that made you understand what Trump was. Maybe you saw it right away. I didn't. I didn't see Trump right away. I never thought he got a chance to win in 2016. I wrote my name in it that he's not going to win. He's not going to win. It's a waste of time. You're wasting my time with this. Hillary Clinton's going to win. They're going to pull this thing out. They're going to give her the votes. I don't know how they do it. The die bold or whatever, but they're going to do it. I said, there's no way he's going to. There's no way he's going to win. He's not going to win. That's what I thought. I said, there's no way he's going to win. I thought this. I, honest to God, thought this. I said, it's a waste of time. They're not going to let this guy win, no matter how great he is. They're not going to let him win against her. And I thought this, and I said it, and I believed it. And then I shan't forget that night. I shan't forget that night. And maybe you can too. When we were watching this, and I realized something was up because Hillary in 2016 canceled the Javits Center down the street, canceled the Grucci, I believe they're Grucci fireworks. So something's up. They knew this. And I remember turning to my beloved that night and saying, he won. He won. And we looked at each other and said, could there really be something to this thing called the democratic process, the constitutional republic? 2020 came along, and you know, and I know, we can shut up, and we can play all the games we want, and we can pretend, but you know, and I know what happened. Pops didn't get 68 whatever million. Stop it. Stop insulting our intelligence. Stop it. Stop telling me that. Stop telling me that January 6th was the worst day in American history. Stop it. Stop telling me that the fires in California just all of a sudden started, 3 of them at one time. Bill Burr is an idiot. Bill Burr doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm just I know what's right. I know what's happening. I did a video today. Please watch this on whether the Obamas are heading for a divorce. You think that's a legit marriage? Come on. Come on. Stop it. This is going to be the age of and the era of, come on. Stop it. Just stop it. Come on. Stop wasting my time. I've been through this. 4 days from now, 4 days, it is going to be something that I will still not be able to expatiate. Monday, we're going to be around. I don't know what to do. I'm not going to do this thing live. I'm not going to go do this. But we're going to have the time Monday. Because there's a part of me that says, and I know this is irrational, and I know it makes no sense, and I know you're probably saying to yourself, what is he talking about? But there's a part of me that says, it's not going to happen. It's too good to be true. You ever feel like that? Do you ever think to yourself, this is too good. This is not, there's no way. I don't want to be let down. My friends, I want you to listen to me carefully. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Please make sure you double check. And if you are not subscribed now, as 87% of the people who watch my presentations are not, subscribe to Lionel Nation now. But listen very carefully to this very critical message. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt, plus The total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. I cannot put into words how happy I am, and maybe you are too. I don't even know where to start. My friends. I don't even know where to start. Give me a word. Let me just, please. One word to describe. How do you feel right now? One word. One. And then we'll get down to business. Because the globalist fire sales, Bill Burr, you're an idiot. Very funny, caustic, profane, comic. You know nothing about this. Stay in your lane. We'll be talking about controlled chaos and demolition reset. Tell me what you think. Elated, excited, thrilled, anxious. Patrick, anxious. Anxious means anxiety, which is very good. By the way, Dick McGee, ladies and gentlemen, always a contrarian, says nothing. Dirk McGee says nothing. Dirk feels nothing and wants to be a part of our confab by saying it in capital letters. Thank you so much, Dirk. Surreal. I like this. I just love it. Triumphant, anxious, nervous, ramping up. Wonderful. It's just, we will see. Everything's going to change. Everything is going to change. Let me give you an example. I got to tell you something. Today, I have a friend of mine who is from, I guess you would say, an Arab country. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to say too much. And he came to this country and he's explaining to me, he said, the subways, he came and left his country to move to our country. He says, and the crime on the subways the lunacy. There is no order. He says, I came to this country for freedom. And the people who are on the subways making the most noise are not MAGA supporters. They are not conservative Republicans. They're not white nationalists or white. They are a certain demographic of a certain degenerate, crazy, criminal group of people, many of them who, by happenstance or by happen to be African American. Just so happens. Sometimes there are certain groups. If you want to look at the mob and the mafia, I got news for you. Many, if not all of them, happen to be Sicilian American. In fact, that's a requirement. So my friend from a country, he says, "What do we do about this?" He says, "Well, I don't know." He says, "I don't mean anything." I said, "Do me a favor." I said, "You do not have to keep explaining away how everything is. Stop it. Stop all of this screaming and yelling. Stop pretending that the reality." I said, "I hope this changes with Trump. For reasons I do not understand. I do not understand. And we are not going to be hamstrung anymore by saying this. There is a faction, the DEI proponents, the radical gay and trans, not all though. There are some exceptions to this. And we have to be able to say exactly what's going on. Let me give you this much. This is a young lady. I think she's on TikTok, but she is wonderful. I believe she is a lesbian and a conservative, and I believe a Trump supporter. And she makes so much sense, it is not even funny. Listen up.
Put a mask back on. Stop letting them observe your face.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I was just trying to connect the dots of insanity, but that maze runs way too deep for me to follow. Put a mask back on in protest. Yeah, so now we've got the shaved heads, the septum piercing, the mask, the Subarus, the coexist stickers. The signs are all there. Okay, we all were so worried we were gonna report you for who you voted for. We know. Yeah, we can tell. It's really funny to me. Y'all are so bold. You're so bold. Put a mask back on so that they're not allowed to observe your face anymore. First of all, bold of you to assume that that's gonna hurt anyone, right? Like, oh my God, guys, they covered their faces. We can't look upon their beauty anymore. We have to impeach the president. It's all over. That's gonna do it. What? Furthermore, you understand that there are some countries where women have to cover their faces at all times, right? Like, it's a privilege to live in America where women have freedoms and we are allowed to express our little bald-headed selves any way we choose. But you want to choose to cover your face, to show that you're oppressed. So, like, you're not actually oppressed, but you're going to make yourself oppressed because you got to insert yourself in there, right?
Now, let me explain something. It's very interesting. I just want to let you know something. That, I think I did not catch her name, maybe. That is a gay woman. Say that. A gay woman. That is a gay woman. This is a woman who is gay. She's a lesbian, sapphic, dare I say. And she identifies as a woman. Did you know that? It's true. It's the damnedest thing. And she identifies as a woman and as a conservative. And she's gay. Does anybody have any problem with that? Not because she's a conservative, but does anybody have a problem with her? I don't. Even if she's a Democrat, you got a problem with that? I don't. But that's a woman. This is the thing that I want to tell you. This is a woman. There are gay men and women who are not trans. Dirk McGee says, "Love you, Lionel. You do the Lord's work. You will get the credit you deserve as things keep crumbling geopolitically. Your views are refreshing like a lemon squeeze in an iced tea." Thank you so much, Dirk. I appreciate that. I want to just talk demographics. I think this is something we need to really talk about this. We need to say, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this? There is a woman I have on my YouTube, my X channel at Lionel Media. And I think she's Nigerian. I don't know. Woman, black, landing a plane, and they show her cover, and she is the best. I mean, she lands a plane. She's not DEI. She's proficient. She's professional. She's qualified, and she's talented. Nobody cares about this. Come Monday, it'll be all right. We don't care about this. Let me tell you something. We don't care. Whatever you are. Can you do the job? Can you do the job? You're in. That's simple. Let me say this again. Can you do the job? Yeah. You're in. You're in. Now we can argue about whether there's this big. One time, by the way, there's a kind of a rekindled discussion about whether women should be in the military, whether women should be in the combat, whether women should be. I'll let other people argue that one. I may not necessarily agree with most people on that one because I really do not. We'll talk about that. There are some other things to consider about that. But the bottom line is simply this. The bottom line is simply this. And I will say this repeatedly, y'all. If you can do the job, that's it. Period. If you can do the job, that's my answer to DEI. There was some suggestion today that the FBI is going to finally be stopping DEI. Dave says, we need Trump man to liberate us from this modern Gotham City we find ourselves in. Well, we need a lot of things. And we need to understand something, that there's a whole bunch of folks out there who are going after these crazy people. Oh, let me explain something to you. Back to my story. So my friend who speaks English, but he has a decided identifiable accent. And he says, in my country, he says, Arab countries, he says, I know, this is his whole thing. If you leave, and you saw this on YouTube, if you go to Dubai or Arab Emirates or whatever it is, any of these countries, and they had one where somebody took gold, like gold chain and a wallet or whatever, and left it on the hood or the bonnet of a car. And went somewhere and they were just filming this. And people walked by and looked at it and said, not on your life. He says, because in my country, I'm sorry, and by the way, he told me, he says, not here. And I thought, wow, I missed that one. I go, that's like the arm. Yes. And we were talking about this. And he says, I don't want this, but nobody does it. So let me get this straight. So we live in a country where you are told, if you do this, if you run a red light, if you run a stop sign, if you go into a junkyard with a sign that says guard dog, remember the wrestler junkyard dog, you are hurt, or you enter something that says high voltage and you violate that, you are, this doesn't even deserve any kind of discussion. It's true. That ends Monday. Bring back common sense. We're going to have to go proto, meta, peri-fascist. I don't know what the word is, but these words, you are going to have to see people really, career criminals. Remember, in most cities here in New York, it's like 1,200, only 1,200 people. I am so tired. And for Bill Burr, I watched something today. Greg Reese did an old piece on fires from. There's so much evidence about this. And here is the thing. I can see something here. I'm changing the subject, by the way. I'm changing the subject. Just so that you know, don't get. We're talking about crime. This is a new subject. When I show you, do you know how hot things have to get to basically melt a car? Not melt it, not smelt it. He who smelt it dealt it. But it's like 1,500 degrees. Fires don't do that. Forest fire, they don't. You do know that, right? There's some things you can just throw. You can throw steel into like a fire, and you can sit there And you'll come back next week and it'll still be there because it doesn't reach that temperature in order to, you know this. You know this. So how do you get temperatures, Bill Burr, this hot? It's unheard of. How, Bill Burr, because you're an expert, because you're a comedian, and F this and F that, because you're a genius, because you go out there with routine material. And by the way, on February the 22nd, and you can look at the description section, I'm going to be at the Cutting Room in New York City. And you know who my special guest is? You. Have you ever seen this before? This time we're going to go almost exclusive. It's going to be participation, questions. It's going to be like nothing. It's going to be like a 12-step meeting meets a sex without partners meeting, meets a MAGA meet. You are not going to, I do things differently. And the reason is why no comedian, and I'm not a comedian, nobody would ever turn their show over to an audience because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand. To them, it's a joke. I don't tell jokes. I know reality. I know the news. I know what's happening. You do too. Nobody does this. Let me say this again. Nobody. Who walks in there and says, any questions? Nobody. Except, where are you from? And I've seen it before. Are you two married? What do you do? That's boring. I'm talking right now to you, a group of people that I can throw stuff at and you'll catch everything I'm saying. Stop for a second. Pat yourself on the back. Do you hear what I just said? I can tell you anything and you'll get it. You don't ever say, what is he talking about? I never heard of it. What? So there's nobody, Bill Burr, who says nobody believes this stuff. Because, Bill, you have the balls and the intellect and the knowledge of somebody who's been in a coma for most of their adult life. Because you are how do I say this? You just read the headlines, Bill. That's all. We don't read the headlines. We go so deep, it's not even funny. So deep, it's dangerous. And we're just coming out. We're kind of like the little flowers are coming in and the little buds. We've been waiting because Monday we're going to sprout, baby. And we're going to flower. And we're going to say, here we are. And we're going to identify people. And if you're white or black or gay or trans or stupid or male or female, whatever it is that describes your demographic that we want to encourage or discourage in terms of behavior, we're going to identify this. There is a level of sub-mental cretin that is inhabiting the various municipalities. I've seen them, and if you want to go on the subway, I'll show you. I don't know. They're hominids. I don't know who they are, where they are from. I don't know anything. I don't know if their karyotype looks like a Brussels sprout. These people, put it this way, they should be so lucky to merely be retarded. This is drug-addled, psychotic, inbred, homozygotic. You have the worst of the worst of the worst breeding. It's like reverse eugenics. Instead of getting positive, the fastest horse, the reddest rose, the best bird. No. We take the worst people and we crossbreed them, and we have the really worst people who speak languages that do not exist on the phylogenetic tree, with morphemes and phonemes that don't exist. Grunts, slurs, I don't know, a patois that is, I don't know. It's a little bit higher than insect, but put it this way, bird calls are far more communicative. And that's what we're dealing with. And those people are doing the crime, and those people are let out. And we all have to sit back and say, what is this? Let them go. Restorative justice. It's over. Do you hear what I have to say? Now, another thing, too, is we're going to get rid of these nitwits. These are these people who put up with this bullshit called, ready for this? It is called pronouns. We're not going to hear pronouns anymore. We're not going to hear pronouns. That's already gone. Nobody's going to talk pronouns. Did you hear this story? You're not going to believe this one.
City councilor filing a complaint with Worcester's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and they're taking a month-long break. They say it's for emotional and mental safety. Worcester City Councilor at Large Tu Nguyen taking a month-long mental health break, accusing the mayor and council of a toxic culture. Nguyen uses the pronouns they, them, and says it's not safe to show up to meetings in person.
I really, really wished I felt safe enough to show up on the council floor, but I don't.
Last night, when talking about remote participation, Nguyen accused the mayor and another councilor, Kathleen Toomey, of using the wrong pronouns. Nguyen also says Councilor Candy Merrow Carlson repeatedly called them it.
I have faced transphobia with being misgendered and recently learned that I have been dehumanized to a point where I'm being referred to as it by my colleagues on this council.
Councilor Toomey says early on when the councilor was elected, I did make an honest error in addressing the councilor and may have done so a few.
Can you believe this? It, as in cousin it. I hate this psychotic behavior. Stop it. And by the way, is that a keffiyeh? That's red. What is this? This nonsense is over. It's done. You had a nice run. It's over. Why don't you do this? Go home, sit by yourself, unemployed, because we just fired your ass, because you're intellectually, emotionally, and apparently immature enough to handle this job. And you can go home and you can sit and talk on your phone all day long. And you can come up with as many pronouns as possible. But this is over. It's done. You ran it into the ground. We find it stupid, childish, boorish, anti-intellectual, and also, I'm sorry, retarded. It's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. You're worried about what? Somebody calling you what? Have you ever been misidentified ever on the phone, or somebody thinks you're older or younger than you are? Or, I mean, have you just ever been, I mean, who cares? We have created this culture of lunacy. Now, another thing I want to tell you, dear friends, before I show you the next one, because you're going to know this one. You're going to love this. I am telling you that right now, there is a company that I cannot commend enough to you. It's My Patriot Supplies, and they have been our sponsor. And we love them, and we honor them, and we thank them, because they have been on the front lines of dealing with every kind of catastrophe you can imagine. I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. And right now they have a 4-week emergency food kit. They're going to knock $50 off. This is your intro. This is like, it's like when you're like the pusher says, here, try a little bit of this. First one's always free. Well, this isn't free, but it might as well be. When you're going to get this, the first thing you're going to do is say, don't eat that. That's for the emergency. That's because you're going to want to eat it. I don't know what you think this is, like a freeze-dried cake. This is delicious, tasty morsels of viands and victuals, toothsome little morsels of deliciousness that stand between you and horrific starvation and death in the event of catastrophe. Do I make myself clear? Preparewithlionel.com. One more time. They have been trying for the longest time to just make Mike Lindell a living. Do you see how they finally gave a reprieve to Rudy Giuliani? He can keep his, I forget the specifics of this, They've been doing this to Mike Lindell because they just hate him, because he had the unmitigated gall to come out and basically want to support and did support the President of the United States. And the way we thank Mike Lindell, who has been our sponsor too, you go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or mypillow.com/Lionel, and buy everything they have using promo code Lionel. Only if you want the best towels and blankets and sheets and toppers and everything else. That's it. I'm honest, and I am loyal to a fault, and they have been loyal to us, and we thank them immensely. Now, let me explain something to you. I have, in my career, I didn't realize this, but as a brand new prosecutor in the regular, this is like MASH unit prosecution. All of a sudden, you're in traffic. Okay. And traffic, DUIs. I don't know how many DUI cases I had. Bench trials. Oh my God. Bench trials, jury trials are rare, but bench trials on a day, easy, 10. That's the morning, afternoon, on trial, 10, 20, 30, a day. Easy. Boom, 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 boom. I've seen every kind of drunk and crazy there is. I've seen combinations of drunk and combinations of crazy. I have seen, and the greatest evaluators are bartenders. By the way, any bartenders here, God bless you. I one time had the greatest witness of all. We didn't have a breath, he didn't blow, he didn't, no field sobriety test, no nothing, no admission, no zip. All we had was the observation of a bartender for like 30 years. This guy was so deadly. He was the greatest witness I've ever seen. He was a conviction, but he was the greatest because he described it. Now, how many of you have, and this is what, by the way, this is what you do in a DUI trial in order to introduce an opinion, because you can't give opinions. Sir, madam, in your experience, in your lifetime, have you ever had the opportunity to observe someone who was under the influence of alcohol? Yes. And based upon your observation of the defendant that night and your experience, did you form an opinion whether this individual, the defendant, was under the influence of alcohol? Yes, I did. And what was that opinion? He was under the influence of alcohol. That's the perfect way it goes. That's when you introduce an opinion. Opinions, you know. Have you ever smelled onions before? Yes, I have. And did it smell like onions? Yes, you did. You can't give opinions about speed but things like this. But if you have if you say, oh, I've seen drunks every night. I can tell you something. I know crazy. And by the way, do me a favor. Gentlemen, I offer my services. I'm going to go online. And I don't know how I'm going to do this. Give me, if you're thinking about dating somebody or marrying somebody or whatever it is, give me just at least a minute of your betrothed. And I can only do, men are easier to do because most of them are just stupid. But for women, I will tell you if they're crazy or not. I will. A minute. Have them discuss something. Preferably, if you can show me an argument, but those are hard to take. I know these things. I've seen every gradation of crazy and every gradation of drunk and drugs you can imagine. Now, I want to ask you something. Have you ever had the influence or had the experience or the opportunity to observe somebody under the influence of alcohol? Yes, you do. And I want you to look at this right now and ask yourself whether you can come up, whether you have an opinion, whether this individual was under the influence of alcohol or some form of medication, or whether she was arrebatada.
I'm fully aware that I am the public face of a lot of our work. And so I have the benefit of running into people all over our country who thank me. And I will tell you, I am fully aware that when they are thanking me, they are thanking our team for the extraordinary commitment that you each have and as a team have to lifting up the American people, lifting up their condition, lifting up their hopes and
Gone.
dreams, and understanding through it all the nobility of public service.
Borracha. Borracha. Jodiendo. Que se la mama. One more time. Let's go back and look at him. Now, by the way, this is the creepiest dude. And this guy's got a lot of stuff he's packing in that hall closet. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, not that there's anything wrong with it, but just watch old Doug. Watch his face and tell me what you think.
I am fully aware that I am the public face
Look at that.
of a lot of our work.
He's
And
oozing.
so
Not
I
in it.
have the benefit of running into people all over our country who thank me. And I will tell you.
Now, you know what Doug's saying? Let me translate because you missed it. Let me see. Come in.
I am fully aware
You
that
believe
I
this
am
shit?
the public
She's
face
gone.
of
You
a
should
lot of
smell her
our
breath.
work.
Yep. You
And
see
so
her?
I have
told
the
you.
benefit
She's
of running
gone.
into people all over our country
Ooh-wee.
who thank me.
Yo.
And I will tell you, I am fully.
We came this close. How does that make you feel? This close. And that relationship, did you happen to catch, please go, did you happen to catch my assessment of the Obamas maybe getting some type of a dissolution? Did you get that one? That's the most incredible of them all. That's the most incredible. You see, I find, and I always have found for the longest time, marriages to be something that are just, I'm always looking, I'm always watching. The other day we were at Costco and I saw this older couple. It was very nice. Holding hands. It's just, it was like so sincere. You know what I mean? I could just, and then you could tell others we think this doesn't work at all. You see, my friends, when you live in a world where everything's artificial, Obama, Bill and Hillary, they have no marriage, but they're not going to get a divorce. Why? And we'll talk about, just go watch the video. Why would you do this? Now, by the way, there's another one too, my friends. There's this wonderful piece. I want you to notice this. There is a wonderful, I believe this was a discussion as to, watch this. I forgot what it was.
Legislation that was written in this.
Okay, now by the way, this is terrible. And you know what? And God is going to strike me dead for what I'm supposed to say. What I'm about to say right now. God is going. I am so petty. If this man, this is Wyden, the senator, if he ever robbed us and spoke to us, and the police said, "What did you notice about him? What did you notice about him?" Listen to the way I've listened to him for years, and whenever he speaks, I just want to stand back and make sure that there's a spit guard or something, and make sure you are wearing a Boston Whaler, because this guy he can produce more saliva, and it's not just sibilance, my friend. This is something serious. Now watch him. Now let's get a look. He's talking now. This is Ron Wyden, and he's talking to about
the legislation that was written in this room that was the biggest transformation on clean energy.
Can you just feel it? You know, Rudy Giuliani, bless his heart, a long time ago, he had sibilance. And sibilance, it's not a lisp, it's this. And it's something that I'm fascinated by. And I don't know if other countries have this, But there is this, and Wyden has a little bit of that. And I'm sorry, but if you ever meet him, make sure you stand for it. But especially, he does, you know what? He might be the only one I would insist wears a mask.
In American history, that is our package that basically said the tax code as it relates to energy is a broken down mess. And we basically said we're going to have a technology neutral system. The more you reduce carbon, the bigger your tax savings.
Que mierda. What crapola is this? By the way, I don't think this is rosacea. Could be, but that's a good call. Acne rosacea, I don't know. You know who's got some serious rosacea is Steve Bannon.
Now there is a big effort
Everything's coming up rosacea.
in the Trump administration to reverse it. I think that's going to be bad for the economy, but it is going to
By the way, is this guy's name Crapo? Is that Crapo next to him? Just is that Mr. Crapo? Yes.
be damn good for China because we are in an arms race on clean energy with them. Are you going to be on the side of people who want to unravel this?
Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. This simpleton.
Senator,
This is Besant. Now he's I don't know who this kid is right here. maybe that's Elon's boy, but he's sitting there. Either that's a kid or a very youthful congressional aide. In any event, listen to this one.
the Senator Wyden, just so we can frame this for everyone in the room, China will build 100 new coal plants this year. There is not a clean energy race. There is an energy race. China will build 10 nuclear plants this year. That is not solar. I am in favor of more nuclear plants. And I would note that the IRA, as scored by the CBO, is wildly out of control in terms of spending on the upside.
I am so tired of this climate crap. Remember, my friends, whenever you speak as to this climate story, please do me a favor and please remind them of this thing called the Holocene maxima and the Hypsy thermals. That's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do. Just remind people of the Hypsy thermals. Now, I want to go back and I want to talk about this wonderful thing, this wonderful story about the fires and what Bill Burr has a hard time understanding because he doesn't really understand what's going on here. And I wanted to bring something to your attention now. And this is, I wanted to get this for you because as you know, it appears to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind. No, it seems to me like these fires kind of came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? You know, I'm just, and I find it very interesting. Now, where is it that remember something which is the most important. You do know that in 2022, the LA Fire Department gave to Ukraine, turnout gear, hoses, fire trucks, gear. Oh, yeah, to Ukraine. Listen to this. I wonder if Bill Burr knows this. When people were looking at the images and the accounts of the 5 Los Angeles five, and this was, I didn't even know what it's now. They're achingly and apparently similar to the images and the stories of the Lahaina fire in Maui. Do you remember that one? I know you do. Administrative systemic incompetence, dry fire hydrants, residents fleeing on foot, running for their lives towards the coast, running with the traffic jams, clogged traffic arteries, the spreading fires, the blaze moving. This is the most incredible. There was a piece cited by a fellow named John Leake. And again, I want to remind you, one of the best pieces was written by Dr. Peter and Ginger Bregan and Substack. Absolutely incredible. Listen to this. I wonder if Bill Burr knows it. You think so? This is a quote from Mr. Leak or Leaky. Like Lahaina, which is Maui in 2023, in 2018, Los Angeles was warned by the Woolsey Fire, which ignited on November the 8th, 2018. It burned 96,949 acres. It destroyed 1,643 structures, of the sort of catastrophe that is likely to occur when conditions are dry and windy. As was the case in Lahaina, it appears that what passes for leadership in Los Angeles made little to no investment in preventing the disaster. The stories are incredible. Reminiscent of the Maui fire. I'm going to go back to this. The fire hydrants had no water. What was that, President Trump? They had no water. No water with which to fight the fire, to fight the blaze. Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't. Los Angeles fire hydrants ran dry despite, my friends, state residents having approved. Listen to this, Bill Burr. Did you know this? Funny man. State residents having approved billions of dollars for new water storage facilities over 10 years ago. Proposition 1 is a $7.5 billion water bond intended to provide significant investments. Although funded, not a single water storage project was completed. The state allowed on government organizations, NGOs, to prevent completion of water projects by suing on behalf of an endangered species, a 3-inch smelt fish. Now, Mr. Burr, is it? Like Raymond Burr? Do you have any idea of what you're talking about? No, because you're a loudmouth. You're a profane and F-bomb slinging loudmouth. That's it. This is not incompetence. This is systematic and deliberate sabotage. And you know it, and I know it. But that's going to end Monday. That's going to end. Our day is here. Do not let them get off with this. Do not forget about this. This is not about living. I don't particularly care. Listen, what they do to Los Angeles, they could do to anybody. It's the principle of what counts. I am tired of this. I am tired of the crime. I am tired of this pronoun nonsense. I am tired of all of these people. You have no earthly idea how I despise these people. I despise them in ways I never even thought possible. The world is completely, it was careening out of control. But that changes Monday, my friend. That changes Monday. And thank God for that. Oh my God. Thank God for that. We have been through so much, my friends. You know that? And by the way, that's why when I ask you to subscribe, it's not just, how do I say this? I'm not an acolyte. I'm not a Mar-a-Lago groupie. I don't want to meet anybody. I don't give a damn about Bobby Kennedy personally. I mean, I know these people. They're nice people. By the way, Ashley Moody from Florida, another Tampa, another Tampena, is going to be the new senator to replace Marco Rubio. So we got Pam Bondi, we got Ashley Moody. I'm not into this. If I told you right now, if they said, would you want to come to the inauguration? Absolutely not. I don't like crowds. I don't want to hang around these people. I really don't. I'm no. I'll watch it on TV. I'll let you do this. I'm not out. I'm not a groupie. I don't want to. I don't want to go there. I mean, if I do, fine. But I want you to understand something. It's not about, oh, I love Trump. No. He is our savior, our redeemer. He is it. He is going to redirect the ship, and maybe we hope it'll stay on that course. We needed him. And despite whatever they say about him, the way he looks and the way he sounds, I don't care about that. He is the best thing. He is the greatest president in my lifetime. I will tell anybody that. I was born in a crossfire hurricane. Now, I was born in Lionel. Will Trump save TikTok for us? I think so. I don't think TikTok is going away. I think the idea of Chinese, I'm very, my position on TikTok is not very popular. Mark Zuckerberg is trying to kill TikTok because he wants it for himself. He wants Meta to do this stuff. When was the last time you ever asked somebody if shutting down radio or TV because somebody said something? When George Carlin stated those now famous or infamous, those claims, those words of the 7 dirty words, did anybody think about shutting down radio? WBAI? No. I don't understand this. You take information from me all day long. Facebook. I don't know about Twitter now. TikTok probably did more to get President Trump elected. You want to get rid of it because of what? It's nonsense. Another thing, too, I'm going to tell you something right now. And Mrs. L and I discussed this. There are kids who have fallen prey because of these devices. But I want you to understand something. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that they have remedies available if indeed they are victimized by somebody online, or if somebody tries to upload pictures of them and they want to have that shut down. They should be able to do this. But I want you to understand something. If you have a kid, that kid is yours. Do not ruin my social media platforms. Do not ruin my fun, my excitement because of some hypothetical 10-year-old that you're not able to watch. Okay? It's that simple. You've got to be able to teach your kid and to control your child to not run into traffic or steal things or hurt themselves or cut themselves or drink stuff out of bottles that they don't understand. That's your job as a parent. And I understand things are tough right now, but I'm really, there are some people also, this is absolutely terrible. But there are people who do bad things to themselves. That is weird. A while back, somebody was listening to a Ozzy Osbourne song. Remember that years ago? And because they heard something, somebody played a source of the devil backwards. I don't know what that was. I'm getting tired of that. Stop blaming a lot of people. Don't get me wrong. They have responsibility. But parents, if you have kids, control them. It's your kid. It's their phone. You're paying for it. Don't give me this crap about, I can't tell my kid. Don't have kids. Don't. You obviously can't do it. Here's a phrase. No. Why? Because I told you so. Because I told you so. That's it. What are you talking about? Don't do it. So anyway, this is, well, you don't know what it's like. Don't have kids. If you can't do it, that's it. If you have a wild animal and you can't keep the dog penned up or tied up in the back, we'll take the dog from you. You can't handle this. I mean, this is another thing too. I'm just getting sick and tired. Oh, we're gonna blame everybody. Stop blaming everybody. It's you. And I'm tired. That pronoun freak absolutely, you have no idea the level of disgust that I feel. Now, tomorrow night, there's going to be Ventilation Friday, ladies and gentlemen, because in 3 days, it will be my beloved's birthday. And I want you to go right now to Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors. Do you hear me? You better listen to me good. And sign up and subscribe. She's doing God's work. She has interviewed people. Her interviews, she talked to a woman. Oh my God. You got to hear what these stories. You can't believe them. You can't believe these stories. So, Lynn's Warriors. And also, let me tell you something. Do yourself a favor and make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. By the way, did anybody see today? It was the last day of Blinken at the State Department, and it was Max Blumenthal who stood up and yelled at him about, obviously, the horrible, this Israel, and how he basically, you got to see this. I didn't want to play the whole thing. There was another reporter who basically was manhandled. He was just asking a question. But I want to ask you a question. And this is the most important. When somebody yells out something, let's say it's something that you believe in, or something that's a valid point. It's valid. But it's yelled out, code pink, whatever. Remember, the position is what you like. You agree with it. Does that make sense? Is that a good way to do that? Are people swayed by this? The people who, because I always think the people who are either for this or against this, I'm not speaking to them. I'm trying to get somebody to listen to this. Does that help you? Does that make any sense? Do you ever sit back? Do you ever say, hey, that was great? Code pink. The way this woman changed, I'm not saying, changed herself to this, or the woman who was new, well, maybe that's 6 feet. The one who yelled and screamed, does that ever do anything for you? Does that do anything? Does it? Does it? I really don't know. I honest to God don't know. I asked a friend of mine one time, every year we have the gay rights, or gay pride day. I'm saying, what are you accomplishing with this? Remember there's a guy 6'4", got big guy on a unicycle and a tutu. I said, what is this accomplishing? While we're trying to show our freedom, I said, is this what being gay is? To act like a damn fool? Why are you acting like this? But just explain to me why you have leather pants with your arse hanging out, kind of like that motorcycle. Is this, what is this? What is this? Are you winning anybody over? Are you winning anybody over? I just asked a question. And I think gay rights is important. And I think this is an important thing that Max and other people are saying. But when you scream at a thing, does that work anybody? The answer is no. Because the people who might listen to this go, it's another nut standing up and yelling. Because they don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't do any good. It's good for you. It's good for the cause. I might agree with it, but it doesn't do any good. I have very strong convictions about things. But the moment I stand up and I start yelling at somebody, look, I go nut. Nobody listens to me. I could have a great point. I could have a terrific point, but it doesn't work. So the question is, what are you trying to do? Now, that's going to be very, very unpopular because people are going to mistake what I'm saying. They're going to say, well, this is what has to be done. That's not the question. The question is this the most efficacious way to get a point across? Whatever it is. When you think that if you are pro-life and you used to, if you stand up with pictures I mean, maybe this works, but like there was always this lone man on Saturdays who used to march in front of this one abortion clinic with pictures of dismembered things. And I thought to myself, is this effective? Is somebody going to say, That man is spot on. Are you going to say, look at this nut on a Saturday all by himself, walking around with dismembered, whatever it was? Ask yourself these questions. The questions you ask are the hardest ones because people will just get mad at you because they'll confuse what you're saying, the efficacy of the position. See, I always thought to myself, going back to the gay rights thing, what they should do was to have a bunch of people, maybe who are out of the Marines, but they have people standing up, maybe in their uniforms with their battle ribbons or their awards, their service ribbons and their medals, and have them stand up looking very, very, very important, and then say, "We're gay, all of us. We served your country. We saved lives." There are people on the Vietnam Memorial. That might make something. But the guy walking around with his ass hanging out with the leather pants, I don't understand what that does. What does that do? I don't understand. Why are you doing that? You look crazy. People look at you, they think you're crazy. Why are you wearing leather? And what are you? You're a motorcycle rider, but your ass is hanging out. I don't understand it. I don't understand. Where did this pronoun business? Who did that? That doesn't affect anything. You turn more people off with that pronoun thing. But the thing is that people feel like, remember this, when they're directed internally towards something, they say, I'm right, and I don't care whether you like it or not. Or you don't care. I don't care. I'm right, and you either get along with the program or not. Johnny Matt says, about a week ago, you mentioned that nobody is that important because in the end, we're nothing but a name on a stone in the cemetery. So true. Well, I mean, you know, the old expression is the graveyards are filled with indispensable men. Don't ever take yourself seriously. You are nothing in the scheme of things. You will be I don't care who you are. George Washington, doesn't matter. We'll get along without you just fine. And that doesn't mean you're not important, but don't ever take yourself seriously. Don't ever take yourself seriously. That's all. All right, my dear friends, thank you so much to our benefactors tonight, Johnny Maz, the Spaz, B. Thank you so much, B. Dave, and Dirk McGee. Sounds like a porn star, doesn't it? Dirk Diggler. Thank you so much, my friends. Also, don't forget, subscribe to Lionel Nation and Lynn's Warriors. All right, dear friends, have a great day. 4 days until we get going, my friends. And until I hear, so help me God, I'm going to be with bated breath. Not master. Anyway, bated breath indeed. All right, my friends, have a great, a glorious, and a wonderful day. Don't ever change a mean that sincerely. And until then, remember these words, a monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.